babes, welcome back to the channel. Today I'm going to be talking about some of the worst financial decisions I made and how I'm rectifying them now. So we'll go straight from high school to my early 20s, and then now while I'm in my mid 20s, what I'm kind of doing that's helping or hurting my situation still. So if you want to hear more about that, just stay tuned. So now I want to talk to you guys a little bit about my setup. So today is the first day I'm doing the whole shebang. So I got my softboxes, I got my ring light, I got my mic going. What do you guys think? Are you enjoying the lighting? Is it helping or hurting my videos? I would love to know from your opinion what the lighting and setup and sound looks like. But I also want to tell you guys something else about the lip gloss I'm wearing, because I know in the last video I said, oh, I got two Fenty Beauty lip creams. And I wanted to show you guys both of them, but I only ended up showing you one. So the lip gloss I'm wearing today is the Honey Waffles from the Fenty Beauty collection, and this is a cream. So I really enjoyed this one. This is the one I said I thought I needed a lip liner, but it really doesn't. Now that I put it on with the rest of my makeup, it's just like a really nice creamy gloss, so I think I'm fine. Also, something else I wanted to talk about, so totally unrelated to this video, I got some really good bras. And if you're a heavier chested girl like me, I want you to know that VDBradley, right here in Kennesaw, Georgia, they fit girls with bigger busts, and they can ship you the bras, they can custom fit the bras. I went in personally because it was only like 35 minutes away from me, and I went and got fitted, and they gave me great bras. I hope you guys can tell now that my breasts are sitting higher and nothing is spilling out. I really enjoyed both of the bras I got, and they were reasonably priced. They weren't like over $100. They were really like the prices I expected to pay for a bra. So if you guys are like me, you're heavier chested, I suggest looking up vdbradle.com or going to VDBradley if you live in the Georgia area and getting fitted for your perfect bra. So now let's get into the video. So I have about 11 things going on. So half of them are bad decisions, half of them are good. And like I said, I'm going to start from high school. So I got my very first credit card in high school. You guys may be wondering, why did you need a credit card? So I was going through some things, and I was like, well, if this persists, I know I'm gonna have to build my credit, so I'm gonna have to support myself. So I was like, let me get this credit card. I did not think I would get approved for the credit card because I had no credit prior to a credit card. So I was like, I'm probably not gonna get approved, but I'm gonna apply. I got approved. And I think the first set of credit line that they gave me was around $1,000 or so, maybe even $1,500, I think. And I was like, oh my God, yes, I got my first credit card, but mind you, I was in high school. So I was making very poor decisions when it came to what to charge on my credit card, because I was like, okay, eventually I'll get the money back, I'll be able to pay it back. But we all know when you get a credit card and you spend that money, you always think you'll be able to pay it back, but sometimes you aren't. So that was the very first mistake I made. And then after I graduated from high school, of course, I went to college. As you guys know, I went to Ole Miss. And I'm not gonna say my family couldn't support me throughout the whole 4 years, but Ole Miss is a very expensive college, and it's not like I had a trust fund saved up for me to go to college. So it was evident that I needed to take out loans from the government. And those loans, y'all, when I tell you, I wasn't thinking in the sense that eventually I have to pay these back. So I would say freshman, sophomore year, I'm taking out more loans than I actually need, because I'm like, oh, I want to live this type of lifestyle while I got money coming in from the government. Totally not thinking I have to pay all this money back. So that was the second mistake I made, was taking out more loans than I actually needed to support myself in college. Then the third thing that happened was, while I was in college, I actually didn't have a job for like 2, maybe 2.5 months. And in that time, I was using my credit card to support my whole life, my daily living, my bills, whatever I could use and pay with my credit card, I was doing so. Mind you, I didn't have a job, so I knew for a fact I wasn't gonna be able to pay these bills back as soon as they came out. So that actually impacted my credit score a lot, because I didn't have the money to pay that credit card line down, and I knew that. But I had to survive. Like, my bills weren't gonna stop because I didn't have a job. I wasn't gonna stop living and needed to get gas and eat and like just survive because I didn't have a job. So that kind of impacted me in college. It really was a poor decision to just live off my credit card instead of asking for money, or like really trying to get out there and find a job, because I was trying, but it just was not working. But just choosing to live off my credit card was another terrible decision. And then also, while I was in college, I was dating someone, and I let him drive my car, and they ended up breaking it. And as a payback, that person decided, I'm gonna get you a brand new car. And they did come through on that, but it was a brand new car. Like, when I got my car, it had 8 miles on it, and neither one of us knew how to argue the car dealership guy down to a reasonable price, So whatever we seen on the sticker was what we thought we had to pay. So we just went along with whatever he was telling us, and we ended up paying a huge number. It's a huge number compared to what I think the car is worth now. This was a huge number, and it was not an investment at that time I was willing to make. Because then when me and that person ended up going our separate ways, that whole monthly payment was on me. And the payment was literally probably what I was making every 2 weeks. So as you can imagine, I went into a grave like, okay, what am I gonna do? Because this thing is literally gonna eat up every check I get. I won't be able to pay any other bills. So that was another poor decision I made. When the guy wrecked my car, true enough, he should have got me another one. But I wish we had got something used or something more reasonably priced. Because getting a new car, as I've learned, that car depreciates in value as soon as you drive off the lot. Give it another 2 or 3 years, it's gone down maybe 15, 20%. So it's just like, this car is not even new anymore in the sense of the word when it comes to like the pricing, because when you drove it off the lot, it mattered no more that it was new. So that's another bad decision I made, or we made collectively, but it was still in my younger 20s, so I didn't understand quite how buying a car worked, but that was a poor decision. So now let's transition to when I moved out of college and I was living with my sister in Texas. Now y'all, my sister got 3 kids and a husband, and they recently had a dog when I first moved in. And I was working a job that was roughly an hour away from her house, so I hated that commute, an hour there, maybe an hour and a half back, because traffic, of course, I got off at the time that traffic would hit. So I really hated, I love my sister, I love my nieces and nephews, but I hated living there because it was so far away from my job, and it was commotion every time you looked around because there were so many people there. So I made the rash decision I found an apartment that I liked. It was right by my job, literally 5 minutes away from my job, and I was like, I like this apartment. It's within budget. I'm just gonna move out. So I would say the day I saw the apartment, I was like, this is the apartment I want. I didn't save up any money for it. I was like, I'm just gonna pay for it as the checks come in. And luckily, my move-in date I had selected was around when I would get paid. So I literally left work that day, went and got a money order for my rent, and I moved in. And this, you guys, was another bad decision because I didn't have any money saved up to get the utilities and stuff like that cut on. So of course I could afford the rent, but then it's other bills outside of just your rent that you have to pay when you get your own apartment. So I made that horrible decision of not saving up anything because I was just so ready to move out. So that was another terrible, terrible decision that I made. And then the last poor decision that I made was I started not paying my bills first and just buying leisurely things first. So let's say I get paid, right? And instead of going to like pay my water bill, pay my rent, pay my car note, I was like, well, let me go get groceries, let me go get gas, let me go do leisurely things or things that are not as important when it comes to paying all your bills off first. So I started flip-flopping how I paid, flip-flopping priority in a way. And I was paying all my leisurely bills before I would pay things that really mattered, like how I was gonna keep a roof over my head, paying my rent. I should have been paying that before I went to like go get an oil change, you know? It's just priority. So I didn't have my priorities straight, and so I was paying bills out of order in a sense. So that was another terrible decision that I had made. So now we'll switch over into the things I'm doing now that should hopefully decrease some of the debt I owe and keep me in a place where I'm above water and I'm living life and I don't feel like pressured because I don't have enough money to pay this or that or things like that. So let's talk about what I'm doing now to rectify my early 20s and some of my teen years. So recently, I would say in 2019, we started to do this a little bit, me and Sama, but in 2020, it got really heavy. So we started investing, and the 3 apps we use are Robinhood, Fidelity, and E-Trade. Now, I personally like E-Trade because I basically just put money in there and then some people shuffle it around for me and they try to maximize as much money as I would get back, as much money as I'm gonna get back. And then Simon likes Robinhood because you can have to put the money in there yourself and move it around, and he wants to do some investment on his own one day, so he kind of likes that option. And then Fidelity is like a mix of the two. We use that one too because you can put money in there and kind of move it around yourself. But like I said, I personally like E-Trade because I don't know a lot about investing, and I want the people who do know a lot about it to be investing my money. So I kind of like that for that reason. So that's something I've been doing now. I've been investing. I'm very, very new. Simon knows a lot more about investing than I do, but I think it's very fun. I think you know, I've already seen how it can really help me when it comes to bills because, funny story, my tuition for my master's program, I'm still taking out loans, but I'm only taking out what I need for this tuition. And they paid majority of it, but I still had a balance left over. Luckily, we have been investing and we have saw returns that equaled up to more than what I owed. So I was able to just take that money out. I do have to pay taxes on it, but I was able to just take that money out and pay the rest of my tuition. So I'm already seeing how investing can really change my life. So I'm gonna keep doing that. Also, another good financial decision I've been making is to always put money in my savings. So let's say someone gives me $100, I know at least 20 to 30 of that is going in my savings, hands down. Every time I get paid, something is going in my savings. I don't care if it's $40. Something has to go in my savings because I hate looking at my savings and seeing that there's nothing in there, because that tells me if anything were to happen, any type of emergency situation, I would be screwed because I don't have anything to fall back on. So I'm always trying to put something, anything in my savings every time I get some money. So that's something I've been doing now. And then something I started doing a little bit when I was in college is I started, especially when I got to have to pay that whole car note by myself, I started paying my bills in halves. So I get paid the 15th of the month and I'll pay half of my car note, half of my phone bill, half of my insurance. And then when I get paid on the 30th, I pay the other half. So that way I still have money in my pocket to just get me through to the next 2 weeks. And then by the end of the month, all my bills are paid. So I started doing that now instead of just putting all my one check into one bill. I started paying my bills in halves off of my income. So that's another good decision that I would recommend if anybody is like me and you had more bills and you had money, I suggest you start paying them in halves. And then also I like to balance my checkbook in a way. So I get out a sticky note and I put my starting balance and I subtract everything that I pay. So I know once my bank account catches up and takes out all the things that I've been paying, I know exactly how much money I have left in my account. Because you don't want to just start paying all your bills, not looking at what's the remaining. And then when you start spending money on leisurely things, because if you prioritize, you pay all your bills first and now you're going to have some fun, you won't eat up money that you've already taken out to pay your bills. So I started balancing my checkbook every time I get some money and start paying bills out of it. And lastly, something I'm trying to do now, which is why I've been doing my YouTube channel and really trying to grow it, is I'm trying to have more than one stream of income. Because as I said before, looking at my savings, it lets me know that if I were to go into an emergency situation, I wouldn't have any funds to support myself. But also the pandemic helped me realize if I were to lose my job, I have nothing to fall back on. And I never want to be in a situation again where it's like, okay, my one thing that I had all my eggs in is gone. All my eggs are scrambled, they all fall on the ground, and I have nothing else to do. It's like, no. So I'm trying to get more than one stream of income. So YouTube is something I'm looking at to monetize on, hopefully soon. I still have a job. I'm probably going to still always have a job, a 9 to 5. And I talked to this girl on the weekend. She works, one of her friends works as a bottle girl, and it really made me start thinking about that too, because you make a lot of money in 2 days. You probably made more money in 2 days than I made in a week. And all you have to do is prance around in some fishnets and like a leotard and hold up some bottles with sparklers in it. And it's just like, I feel like my body is not too badly shaped where I could do that. And that's something else I was looking into. But mainly I want to focus on my YouTube channel first, and then I start looking at maybe being a bottle girl in some of these really nice high-end strip clubs here in Atlanta. So yeah, getting more than one stream of income will always save you in case something does happen and you're in a place where you can't have that one job that you had before. But yeah, guys, that's just some stuff I wanted to talk about. I seen a YouTuber do this, Kelly Sweet, where she talked about some of the bad financial decisions she made. I don't know, I didn't finish the video, so I'm not sure if she talked about how she was rectifying them, but I know she did title it, you know, talking about her bad financial decisions. So I got this idea from her. I don't know if she was the originator, but I got it from her. But yeah, I would love to hear in the comments some of the bad financial decisions you guys have made and how you're trying to rectify them, because I know if you're like me, you're in your 20s, maybe even some people in their 30s are still trying to recover from bad decisions they made throughout their whole 20s. They definitely put that in the comments, because it's not going to only help me, a person who's still trying to recover, but it'll help other people before they even get to that place where they're starting to try to create credit or buy a car, and now they know things to look out for. So yeah, guys, I want to thank you so much for tuning in with me and just staying locked and loaded. Like I told you guys, I'm not giving up on my YouTube channel. The schedule has definitely taken a dramatic change, but I'm not giving up. I miss you guys so much, so I was like, I cannot wait to push this video out today. But as always, be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. And until next time, bye.